Guys, we're back with episode whatever of the Great Eastern Kingdoms Walking Challenge. As always, I am joined by Crendor. I just killed a rabbit.
That rabbit is gonna respawn.
Well, we're gonna be gone by the time it respawns.
I was trying to think of a joke or like something clever, and I was like, I mean, he's gonna respawn. I'm too old for this.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of being like too old and stuff, this has nothing to do with being too old. First of all, there's a giant rare right there. I don't know if you see him, but here he comes.
Yeah, I see him.
Speaking of being too old, are you playing the War Within pre-patch?
Yes, I have been.
What do you think about it?
I've been enjoying it. So there's been two phases of the pre-patch. There's the first phase, which is when it initially launched, and it was actually the worst pre-patch ever. And then they like actually changed it because they used everybody's yelling at them as testing, essentially.
Okay.
Well, I assumed they were like, let's test it with the public on a live server. And everyone was like, hey, this sucks. And then they're like, all right, here you go. And I was like, all right, this is a lot better.
You know, I watched your video on the pre-patch with you calling it duty. And I was like, oh no. I was like, if Crendor ain't happy, that means I'm probably not gonna like it. But I was going through like this whole process at the time of like, I just recently got this house, like we put in an offer, it was approved, yada, yada, yada. So I've been dealing with all that. But I sat down a few days ago and I was like, okay, it's time. I got a few hours. I'm going to play the pre-patch and I am going to like take notes on my piece of paper here on like what I like, what I dislike, and let's see if Crendor's right. And I was playing it and I was like, wow, this is actually really fun. I'm actually really enjoying this. So yeah. I think that I got in phase 2, as you've put it. Yeah,
you probably did. Because what did you write down?
So I'm making a whole video about it. I was actually going to work on it tonight. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, the boulder guy.
We got a wall in front of us, dude.
What?
I wonder, don't you see the NPCs?
Oh
hey,
yeah.
Level 4. There's also a human there. It's probably like, what the heck? And here comes a subdued canyon ettin.
Oh yeah, I think I put this in a pointless top 10. There's a glitch here where like what the heck? Yeah, there's a thing here where they were glitched out and all the people had the boulders and they were like just holding them up, but they were holding up nothing and they were like, "Whoa," and I was like, what?
Wait.
So that's pretty neat. All right.
Just died instantly.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to appreciate that because I knew I was going to die instantly. The boulder people are back.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
When I checked, the boulder wasn't there. They were just doing that without a boulder.
Oh yeah. I've had that happen plenty of times. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Pre-patch.
The pre-patch.
Yeah.
You asked me a question. The notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had played a little bit of the pre-patch in like the beta for the War Within. So I did that whole thing with like Magni like blowing himself up and stuff. People like pooped on me because I say the word Magni instead of Magni. But I'm just letting you all know that I say Magni on purpose because like I know it's gonna like piss off people in the comment section. And
I got a lot of things I say that with.
Oh yeah, you just like intentionally mess a name up just to make people say actually.
I did that with my Pokemon things because you're supposed to have 3 favorite Pokemon, and one guy was like, "Can you please spell it correctly?" And so now I misspell all my favorite Pokemon on purpose.
Exactly. Man, I sure do love Pikachu.
Dude, I got Snorlax. I got 10-ton Cruel instead of Tentacruel.
10-ton Cruel, that's good.
Gengo, Charizard. We got the whole crew.
Not Charizard.
Blasto.
I love Charizard. It's like when I streamed on Twitch, like I would always misread because you're like glancing at the chat and going back to the game. So like I would like horrendously misread people's names.
Oh yeah.
Like me missaying their names became their names.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head right now, but like, yeah, I mean, people used to call me Dyslexium. So you can't read. And I'd be like, they don't call me Dyslexium for nothing, kids. It was great. But yeah, so the pre-patch is really fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed, like, I spent a lot of time in Dustwell Marsh on like my max level mage character, killing a Nixxiom and stuff. Got a lot of like, you know, tokens and crap for it, or memories, I should say. I saw a lot of people leveling though, so I was like, oh, like I have Nixxiom and he's at level 65. And I was like, well, you know, maybe I should like get Nixxiom. I didn't play a Death Knight in Dragonflight. I played a warrior mostly. So I was like, well, you know, let's get Nixxiom to max level real fast. And you know, I'd been leveling him in the Dragon Isles before I tried out the pre-patch. Like I was just trying leveling in the Dragon Isles, and super fast, like it's insane.
Oh yeah.
But I went to the Radiant Echoes or whatever event on Nixxiom, and I was just leveling insanely fast doing that, and then got it. I actually got more like Radiant memories or whatever on Nixxiom than I did on like my main character. Like in like 2 rounds of Northrend on Nixxiom, like I had like 9,000 of those damn tokens, and like I had done like 3 rounds of Dustwall Marsh on my mage, and I had like 7,000.
Yeah.
Whatever. So point is, got Nixxiom to level 70, got him a ton of gear. Love the warband system, just like transfer the memories so easy. Love it, love it, love it. So I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it's nothing like amazing, but I mean, it's a great, like, fun little, like, you know, gear and catch up event.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's the thing, is that's really what I wanted it to be. And initially it was just laggy. The event took like 90 minutes to like respawn everything. It was like you did the boss and killed it, and it'd be like, it'll be back in an hour and a half. And I was like, why isn't this like constantly just going? Like that's
right.
That's what it should be. And then they were like, oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and then like after they did all that, I was like, oh yeah, this is fun now.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was real bad. Oh. Yeah, I've been doing that too. I've leveled
Sorry.
I've leveled like 6 of my not 70 characters. They're like high 50, low 60 characters to 70 now. And I just like just keep doing it, because all you have to do is like you just fly around you fly over the thing, and you're like, all right, here we are at Hogger, and then everyone kills it. I'm like, all right, here we go again.
Did it. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been great. That's really what I wanted from it. And now that it's happened, I'm content.
It definitely has made me wonder, like, what do I want to play in the War Within? Because on one hand, I kind of want to play a mage, because mage is fun. I mean, I've been playing mage since like original vanilla WoW back in 2005 when I first started playing. Then of course there's Nixxiom. You know, Death Knight is a temptation as well. But like I don't know, like the War Within for me is not gonna be like I really play MMOs for immersion personally, and the War Within, after like playing like the beta and like the alpha and stuff, it's not an expansion that's gonna immerse me very much, just because I don't really like the environments and stuff like that. But that's just personal taste.
Right.
Don't really like underground things unless it's like a brief dungeon or something. Anyway, so I'm thinking like, what class and race could I play that would really kind of suck me in? And I'm not entirely sure. I am open to suggestions, and I'm also open to playing something I've never played before. I even thought about playing a demon hunter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually that's a good point. I need to level my demon hunter to 70 while I can. Yeah. I think I also love the pre-patch things, because it's like, I just hate leveling in retail WoW. And it's so nice to just be like, all right, there we go. Max them out. Don't have to do anything except the new expansion.
Right.
So yeah, it's very nice. But yeah, I'm not sure either. I was going to play Shaman, because I really enjoyed the...
Shaman.
Yeah, Shaman's...
I didn't think about Shaman.
Yeah, I played it in Classic WoW. I did the Classic Hardcore Shamans.
Right.
If you remember, I made 5 Classic Hardcore WoW Shamans. One of them's still 47, I want to say. I want to get him to 60. So I'm probably going to do that at some point.
Okay.
But So I made a retail shaman in the family name of my shamans, because the first one I made was named Borm. He died in Mulgore. Then there was Bormo. He died in Mulgore. Or no, he might have died right outside Mulgore in the Barrens. Then Bormon. He died in the Barrens. Then Bormano. Bormano, yeah. He died in Dustwallow Marsh. That was a sad time. And then Bormano, I think Bormanoa is the one that I'm on right now, and he's like 47, so he's still rolling.
I kind of like that name, Bormanoa.
Bormanoa, yeah, Bormanoa.
Bormanoa. It actually sounds kind of Taurinish.
It does. And then, I believe, I can't remember what I made my retail shaman, but I added another letter on, so it's like another Bormon, Borm, the line of Borm, essentially. So.
I never thought about shaman. Like I really like shamans as a class, but I've just never really played one in all these years of playing WoW, and I don't know why. Like, because it was it was the first class in World of Warcraft that I ever like got to play extensively on my cousin's computer.
Oh.
Yeah, like while they were at work, this is years ago. While they were at work, like I just played WoW on their computers before I had a computer that could play it and stuff. And I played a Tauren shaman, and I was staying with my grandparents for a week, and so I just got to play this Tauren shaman for like a week straight because they were staying with my grandparents at the time. And I got him to like level 18 in that week. And, you know, first character I actually got to really play around with and level, and it was a lot of fun. So maybe shaman, yeah, I might. That's not such a bad idea.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons in classic hardcore WoW I did shaman, was I never leveled one in classic WoW to 60. And I was like, that and rogue were the only ones I never leveled to 60, and I was like, I don't really care about rogues that much. I'm not really a rogue person. So I was like, screw it. Yeah, I was like, I love Mulgore too. It's like my favorite starter zone. So I was like, let's do it. And so I did it. And now that made me want to play shaman. I did the same thing in actual classic WoW with Warlock. I never played Warlock, and so when that happened, I did that. And I was like, dude, I love Warlock. I used to hate Warlocks.
Dude, Warlock Classic is so much fun. Like all the class quests, soul shards, a very, very immersive class. Really enjoy it.
Yeah, it is. I love it.
Speaking of Warlocks, probably should like give an update on this to let the people know that I have not forgotten, and I'm, you know, trying to stay accountable, I suppose. Still working on the book.
Nice.
Yeah,
that is impressive.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. Been doing a lot of work on it. I was working on it even today, and still going fantastic, to say the least. Actually, had a little bit of trouble, I admit, with the most recent chapter. I had to rewrite it 3 times, just because I just didn't like how it was turning out. Like in my general like outline. Like it was it wasn't specific enough, and I felt like just the chapter needed more meat to it, and I really struggled with the meat, I guess, until like 2 days ago, where I was like, oh, I've got it, and I was working on it today, and that chapter is like 95% done. I just have to write just a little bit more, but my timer ran out this morning, so I was like, okay, I'm done writing. I'd written for a while, and so I'm gonna finish it up. I've already submitted it to Mookluk in advance, just for like his critique and his review and everything. But I'm incredibly happy with it. Nice. Insanely happy with it so far. And I also put out a thing recently. I put out a post to like to the channel members here on Nixxiom, and I said that. Like, I actually, well, the video's not out yet, but I made a whole video called I'm Writing a Book, where I'm talking about it. I don't even think I told you this.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I made a whole video called I'm Writing a Book I'm currently still working on, where I talk about the book and what it's about, and just, I share some thoughts on it, so on and so forth. And what I'm going to do, or like as I was recording that book, I thought, man, you know, it's all well and good to like talk about it, but it'd be really cool to like get it, or like at least snippets of it in like the audience's hands. They could read it, you know, give feedback, you know, whatever. So I thought about that for a bit, and the obvious thing was that like, oh, channel members, like, you know, people can support on YouTube and stuff and whatever, like, oh, just give them like little behind the scenes looks or like snippets or whatever.
Yeah.
But then it was an issue of like, well, how do I do that? Do I just like post a Google Docs link in like my membership posts or something, or what? So in the end, after like debating and talking to the supporters for a bit, I decided that what I'm going to do, and I was working on it today a little bit. I'm nowhere near done. If anybody goes to check this out, but I decided that I'm going to resurrect my Nixxiom Patreon page that I haven't used that thing in 5 years. Like, that thing is dead. That thing is covered in dust, right? And like, so I
like two people sitting there just like, where is he?
Well, I got like 200 something free supporters, like, which is just a glorified way of saying a follower.
Right.
But like, I think I have like 2 supporters on Patreon still after all these years, and I get like $2.20 a month from these like 2 people, and I'm like, oh, you guys are awesome. But no, like I decided I was gonna resurrect my Patreon, so I've been working on it today, like new banners and images, everything's work in progress, but just like make a thing where it's like, oh, hey, you know, if you support, then, you know, I'll do these regular updates, or I'll talk about the book, I'll do like some polls, maybe I'll show some behind the scenes stuff, artwork. The book's gonna be fully illustrated, by the way. I don't think I told you that.
Oh yeah, you did not.
Yeah, but I already found the artist and stuff, so he's working on stuff. So, I mean, he loves it. He's excited. And let's see. So, you know, showing some of the illustrations, behind the scenes stuff, whatever. And then also, you know, for like, you know, a higher tier or something, like, oh, you actually get to, you know, read some of the book. And then for like the, like, what the heck are you thinking tier? I decided to do a thing where it's like, oh, if somebody chooses like the highest tier, even if they just support for 1 month, when the book is done, I'll actually mail them a signed copy of it. I thought that'd be kind of cool as like a reward. That's cool. Yeah, and then still trying to figure this thing out on Patreon. It's really changed a lot in the past several years, but apparently you can like do things on Patreon now where it's like if someone stays subscribed for X amount of time, you can like, well, Patreon will like send them like a sticker or like a t-shirt or a coffee mug or something. So I'm figuring all that out. So everything's a work in progress right now, but just figured that would be just a very easy place to post updates and blah, 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 blah. Like Patreon makes it really easy. So anyway, so patreon.com/Nixxiom, I guess, but still work in progress.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so I know you use Patreon too, but you're not like, actually, I don't even know how active you are on there.
I still am active. I don't post as many things, but I still every month do an update. I've done like 71 updates.
Nice.
And then I still every month do an AMA. And then I'll post like one other thing usually, and then I'm like, guys, I am sorry, I don't post a lot on here, and people are like, it's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you.
I feel like it's a little difficult if you're a creator, because like, what can you say other than here's the new video?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I can do like behind the scenes type of stuff, like a non-content thing, or like a Warhammer thing, or like what was the other thing I was doing? Oh, I was doing like a podcast type thing, but then I didn't really get many people for that after a while. It started out strong, and then I'd only get like one person being like, talk about this. I'd be like, all right, this is like it's be like a 1 minute podcast. So then I swapped that over to YouTube. So now channel members on my channel get like, I do like a AMA podcasty type thing over there. So I do also have the channel members on YouTube.
Nice.
For that. So yeah, I do a little of both.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a lot more active on on Patreon doing like the behind the scenes stuff and just all of it. But I felt like like I was kind of just posting the same thing over and over. Like, oh, you know, here's a storyboard, or like here's a script, or you know, here's a screenshot from an upcoming video. And then when I kind of shifted away from machinima to more kind of narrative and like news and information style videos, there wasn't really much to say about the behind the scenes stuff. So I just kind of gradually just kind of faded away from it. But I guess like when I think about like doing like book updates and stuff on there, it just it seems like it'll be a lot easier. Like I've got like tons of ideas for like things that I can post on the regular, and I even actually thought about it has nothing to do with the book or the story or anything, but I even thought as well about just for the heck of it, like maybe posting like the occasional picture of like what I'm working on like in terms of painting, in terms of like Warhammer and D&D and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I would say most people that are subscribed to the Patreon are probably just curious about anything.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't mind posting stuff like that either. Because I'm like, I mean, they probably, if they're giving me money on a website, they probably know about all the things I do. So exactly. It's like a behind the scene.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you been working on any new Warhammer stuff?
To be fair, I'm always doing something with Warhammer.
Right.
It's lately I've just been building a lot. My backlog. Because I mean, listen, I have like boxes.
Right.
Because like I get sent stuff, right? Like they send me things and they're like, show this off in a whatever. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
But not everything gets shown off because they do send quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So some of it's just in boxes. So like I go through my backlog and I'll build stuff, or I'm just waiting for new stuff that is going to come out that I know about. And I'm like, oh boy, that'll be good. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just a lot of that. And then I have so much just to paint in general. Like I can just, because I've built so much because I play the game. So like I have so many full armies that
right.
I'll just play an army, and then sometimes I'll be like, oh, I just played that army, so I'm going to paint for them. Or then sometimes I'll just be like, I just feel like painting lizard men today or something. So I'll just kind of, you know, sometimes I'll paint by how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll paint based on army stuff. Like one time my Gorgon in Warhammer Old World Fantasy, he killed like 2 giant ogre things. And so I was like, dude, screw it. I'm going to paint this guy up. He deserves it. And so I did.
Nice.
So just stuff like that. I just kind of, you know, go in phases of like building and painting, and then usually I play at least once a week typically.
I actually watched for the very first time a Warhammer Fantasy Age of Sigmar tabletop game.
Oh yeah, Battle Report.
Yeah, like I watched the entire thing. It was like a Skaven army versus for some reason I can't think of the names. The kind of like the blue and gold like knights.
Oh, Stormcast.
Yeah, Stormcast. That's it. Stormcast Eternals. Yeah, I watched a whole like play of them playing, and it looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
like a lot.
No, it is really fun.
Yeah, especially like I actually watched it because in my D&D campaign that I'm DMing for, there's a like a really big battle that's coming up, and I've never DM'd like a big scale battle before. And so I was sort of looking for, I see you're waiting for me just so that I die first. Anyway, so now that he's aggroed onto you, I guess I'll just walk by casually. Anyway, but I was watching it for like inspiration on like how I could potentially do it. And I've got some ideas, like I've been writing down kind of like, because they say that like if you do like big battle rules that are actually official D&D rules, it's just terrible.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to do what most D&D advice videos and websites and whatever will tell you to do, which is, and it makes sense, I understand, but it's the idea of have your players, instead of like they're fighting in a big battle, just have them be like a special operations unit, and they're like seeking to accomplish an objective during the battle. Like,
oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, like that makes sense, but that's not what I want to do. Like, I'm doing this whole thing where they're like in a fortress and they can construct defenses, or they can like I got like a huge list of things. Like they can gather intelligence, capture an enemy, they can dig a well in case of a siege. They get like just a huge list of all this stuff that they could do for attack, defense, just better base management, create a communications system so they get like bonuses to passive perception, lots of stuff. And then of course like the battle will play out. They can build like catapults and stuff, and it's gonna be cool. Hopefully.
Yeah, it does sound cool.
Yeah,
I've always been curious about those D&D big battles too, because I've been in a few D&D campaigns. We've only really had like boss battles. Really, there's never been like massive battle, and even some of those, like usually the DM does create their own way of going about it.
Right. I just want it to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think that's the big thing, and like knowing your players probably as well. Cause like when I did mine with my goblin mage, and I was like, I just want to roll dice, man. Like I don't care if I do a lot of damage or no damage. I just want like I love the Skaven mindset of like I sacrifice everything to like go big or go home. I roll a 1 and I like die, or I roll a 20 and kill everybody.
Right. No, I understand.
Yeah. So he did that, and that was really cool. So I think that's part of it too. I think is just knowing what your players want to experience.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like make sure it doesn't turn into like, okay, defenders are on the wall. They roll to see how many like attackers they kill. Okay, attackers turn back and forth for like 2 hours, and like nothing happens. So I want to like kind of include that there are like these big, I'm referring to them as cinematic moments in my notes. Best example of this is when the wall gets blown up in the 2 towers.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, oh crap, the enemies are flooding through now. Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Or like, oh shit, like the enemies just summoned like a giant dragon or something. Like, oh crap, now we got like this air problem or something. Like something like that to just spice it up and keep it interesting.
It's like you're adding story to the battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. It's honestly, we kind of do that with Warhammer too. When we play it, like we'll do the big battle report thing, like you said, and then when we play, we'll be like, oh man, this guy killed this, and like we'll envision it happening. Like, oh my god, this dwarf like killed this rat, and like he rolled just enough, so he just like split his head open. He's like, oh, and he just falls over. Like you can kind of.
Billy got ganked outside.
Jimmy got ganked outside.
Or Jimmy got ganked outside.
Yeah. Jimmy got ganked outside. So it's just, you gotta, if you're playing with the right people, it's like you can have fun though, because there's people that play it very strategically, like it's just a chess match or something, where it's like I've screened my unit and now I shall bring my hammer unit around to, and it's like you can do that, which is whatever, but it's fun when you get like a good balance.
Right. I would just want like a really, really fun war game. I actually uploaded a video recently onto the YouTube channel of me remastering my first ever Warhammer paint job.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Oh, Jake should watch it.
I did.
Yeah, it turned out terrible. I hated it.
I noticed, I think you just, the first layer of paint was just not thinned and like globbed on. So I think it was already globby, and it was just you can only do so much when it's already like that.
Yeah, and also like I've got the model next to me right now, or like right now it's sitting right to my left. And
what the heck?
And like it's like on the film, like I recorded it with my phone, and then I recorded it with like my actual camera, like the DSLR. Yeah. And like it looks, I mean, maybe it's just me, but like it's like, oh, it looks terrible. But maybe it's just because it's such a close-up shot. But like if you look at it like in person, it looks fantastic. Like it looks great. Yeah. But whatever. So I like played around with the lighting and stuff. And I was also, when I was recording the majority of that video, it was actually right after I got into that car accident. So my pinky was broken. I mean, my pinky is still broken to this day. So and like that just made it really awkward. And sometimes painful, like after a long time painting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that video technically has been in the works for probably when did I break my finger? Like back in May?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, so like that video I've been sitting on it for like 2 months or something. But finally got it done. And and I really want to make a video talking about like D&D terrain, because in that video I shouted out Modular Realms, if you remember. They just do like magnetic like D&D tiles. Cool little company. But I also recently started trying out I don't really know what to call them. Like, I guess you could say like cardboard D&D terrain that you can purchase.
Oh, yeah.
It's like thick paper terrain. You can like assemble it in different ways.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I forget the company that does it. And then of course there's handmade, homemade terrain that you make out of like crafting foam, which I've done. And so I kind of want to make a video talking about like what is the best option, I guess, or just comparing them, pros and cons and stuff. I like all of them personally, but spoiler, I'm pretty much just gonna say like, hey, if you play D&D to like unleash your creativity, make your own terrain.
Yeah, I do think making terrain's really cool. Actually, I've
fun.
never really made that much terrain, so
once you get a foam cutter, and like you learn how to cut foam and texture it, and then just paint it, it's so much fun. Like making like a tower out of bricks and stuff. So cool. There's this one YouTuber, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he makes a ton of like D&D terrain out of foam. He has like some videos that I really enjoyed. Like he made like this one where he made like a whole bandit camp and like a hangman's noose for like a town and stuff, and it's just so cool. And I'm still painting a lot of like D&D figurines right now for my campaign, especially with this big army coming up. I got a 3D printer, but that thing has been giving me a lot of issues lately. For some reason, it's not printing, but that's a whole story. And then also, I'm still painting these gray knights for a friend of mine, albeit very slowly. Yeah. Trying to paint one like every 2 days at this point. So
I have some 40K stuff, but I just prefer fantasy.
Me too.
Things. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point I prefer fantasy over 40K at this point.
Yeah. For me, it's like even playing the game as somebody who's played both, like 40K is a lot of shooting. And so if you have your units even like slightly exposed behind terrain and someone's like, I see his leg, I'm shooting. Yeah, it's just like, oh, I didn't place him like correctly.
Right.
Well, like fantasy or Sigmar are much more melee focused. Yeah,
I think I would like that a lot more myself if I ever played.
Yeah. So plus right now Sigmar's in a much better place than 40K is. A lot of 40K people are actually playing Sigmar being like, this is pretty fun. Right.
Well, I mean, Age of Sigmar just got like a whole new edition.
Yeah,
didn't it?
It's 4.0.
Yeah, they got like all that new Skaven stuff just came out, which I think looks really cool. I'd love to get some of that one day. The only thing is like, you know, when it comes to like miniatures right now, another thing that's changed is Games Workshop like hiked up their prices. Like it was when Mookluk was here for like the wedding, we were walking around like in like game stores and stuff, and he was shocked at how much we pay for like Games Workshop stuff over here in the US, because I believe they're based in the UK, right?
Yeah, they're based in the UK.
Yeah, so like we have to pay like the import fees and all that crap, yada yada yada. So like he's like you're paying $60 for like a single unit. He's like, dude, this guy would be like 20 pounds like back home, so maybe around like $25. I was like, yeah, man, it just is what it is. Games Workshop needs their money.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's the import fee is definitely big. Although I think they built a warehouse in like Memphis or something pretty recently.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, maybe that'll help. I know, because whenever I get like emails from their like media team or whatever, it's always at like 5 a.m. or like 4 a.m.
Right.
They're just like, oh, here's the thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, NDA, don't talk about it or we'll find you. And I'm like, all right. Whatever you say, Redcoat. Do what I want. This is America. Some guy will always leak it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't care enough to ever leak anything. I'm like, I don't care about telling people this. Like, I'm happy getting it for free and shit. I'm not going to tell people.
Right.
There's always like some guy who's like, I need my Reddit points. I'm like, cool, man.
Did you is Lizardmen still your favorite army?
It's interesting because I have like a lot of favorites at this point because I've played so many. So
Right.
they're definitely up there. I would say Skaven's definitely up there. They're probably tied
Right.
at this point, but like the goblins are really fun. The Gits, I like the Ossiarch Bone Reapers are cool. They're like the skeleton dudes.
Nice.
Who else do I really like? I like a lot of the orcs. Like the Cruel Boys are neat. They're like swamp orcs.
Right.
They came out at the start of 3rd edition. They kind of sucked ass, and now they're pretty good. And then who else do I like? I like Nurgle.
Yeah, Nurgle.
Yeah, Nurgle are fun and cool. And then I always like Beast of Chaos, although they're getting rid of them in Age of Sigmar. They're like, we're keeping them in fantasy, so go play that if you want to play them. I'm like, all right, I don't really care because I have like a billion armies anyway.
Right.
But it does suck. And then I really like Sylvaneth, which is like wood elves.
Yeah, those guys are cool.
Yeah, I like them a lot. I've painted quite a few.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a lot of favorite armies. I like a lot.
I still have it. I made a comment on the recent Warhammer painting video, which is upcoming piece of content. But at some point, I would like to drive up north again. And if I do, you can show me how to play.
Yeah, I can
win.
do that. Oh,
You also have to
Actually,
give me an army to play.
well, yeah, that's no problem. I got many. You can even do. They got Spearhead now, which is like a little mini. It's a great way to learn the game. It's like a much smaller board, and it's like predetermined units for each army, but it's kind of like a mini version of the actual game. So it's like it's actually pretty fun. It's kind of like a board game style, but it's still you learn the actual rules of the game by playing it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Sounds fun.
Always, yeah, you try that, and then see how you do, and then I can show you the actual one.
Yeah, I just after I got my 3D printer, I realized like how big of a movement there is online now of just people buying 3D printers to print their own crap just to save money.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only thing with 3D printers, man, speaking from experience, like they can be a little frustrating and they are messy. Like, wow, they are messy.
Oh yeah, that's what I've heard.
You just got resin everywhere. Like it's all over the floor. It's on your hands. You got it's terrible.
Yeah, it's that's why I don't mind just buying the plastic. I'm like, whatever. Well,
Yeah.
plus I get like a bunch of it sent to me as well, so that also helps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: we've made it to Stranglethorn Vale.
We have.
We're almost done.
Yeah, we're at the final stretch here for next time.
Literally, this is the final stretch. Next episode should be the final episode.
Wow, we through the jungle.
And then we can officially say we walked the entire distance of Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms.
What losers?
Yeah, what complete and utter drooling losers. Actually, we're really cool, and you guys should say that we're really cool in the comment section.
Yeah. Well, cool.
You're streaming tonight, right?
I am.
Okay. Yeah, because he said that we should keep the episode short, and it's been like almost 40-ish minutes, so sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I think we'll make good time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it. Is there anything else that you wanted to conclude on or talk about?
No, I think that's it for me. Watch my pointless top 10.
There you go. All right. Guess the only thing I can say is, I'll keep that Patreon updated. I'll try to, I'm staying accountable. I want to keep talking about the book, and especially in the Two Nerds podcast, and hold me accountable, everybody. Feel free to ask about it. If I'm not talking about it, just harass me. And I'll get the Patreon updated, and I'm planning on releasing a lot more content on Nixxiom going forward, like a lot more. Especially once I move into this new place, because where I'm at right now, without going to big old rant about it, it's kind of stressful where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
For many reasons, and it's one reason why I haven't been streaming. It's one reason why my content's been kind of on and off and stuff. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with with the end of Dragonflight. Classic WoW's fun, having fun with all this D&D stuff, Warhammer stuff, and so lots of good things coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
Well, all right, Crendor. As always, thanks for hanging out, and I guess you have the final word.
See you.